Stop wasting your life chasing everything that doesn't matter. Right now, at this moment, you have a choice. Scatter your attention like everyone else or focus like a machine. Every distraction you indulge, every notification you check, every fleeting thought you chase steals your results. In the next hour, I'm going to rewire your brain to ignore noise, lock onto your highest priorities, and operate at a level most people can't even imagine. This is not a theory. This is execution. Focus like a machine, or accept mediocrity. Your choice starts now. Chapter 1. Cut the noise. Control your mind. Noise is everywhere. Social media. Emails. Group chats. Notifications pinging every second. News alerts screaming for your attention. Ads. Opinions. Everyone wants a piece of your mind. And the truth? Most of it isn't worth a second of your focus. Yet, most people let it hijack their day. Most people let it hijack their life. That ends now. You have a choice. Right now, you can keep giving your attention to the noise, or you can reclaim it. That's the key. Focus isn't a gift. It's a skill. A skill that is destroyed by every distraction you allow. Noise destroys results. Noise destroys results. Noise destroys results. Let's break it down. There are 3 main types of noise that are killing your focus: digital noise, social noise, and mental noise. Digital noise. Phones, notifications, apps, emails, and all the scrolling. Every time your phone buzzes, your brain jumps. Dopamine hits. You feel rewarded for doing nothing. But here's the brutal truth. Each buzz, each scroll, steals your attention, your energy, your results. Imagine a top entrepreneur, running multiple companies, who decided to eliminate all social media. No Instagram. No Twitter. No Facebook. Within 1 month, his productivity tripled. He completed projects he had been postponing for years. All because he cut the noise. That's the key. Remove the digital distractions or they will remove your results. Noise destroys results. Noise destroys results. Noise destroys results. Social noise. The people around you matter. Your conversations, your relationships, your social obligations. Not all of them, but the ones that demand your energy without giving value in return. People who complain. People who gossip. People who constantly distract you. They are stealing your mental bandwidth. You don't need their permission to set boundaries. You have a choice. You choose what energy enters your mind. That's the key. Stop letting other people dictate your focus. Mental noise. Thoughts. Worries. Regret. Fear. Anxiety. Self-doubt. This is the most insidious noise because it comes from inside. You think you are trapped by circumstances? Wrong. Your mind is the battlefield. And the louder your mental noise, the less energy you have to focus on what matters. Meditation, journaling, breathing exercises, these are not optional. They are weapons. Weapons to cut through the noise and reclaim your attention. You have a choice. You can be consumed by thoughts, or you can control them. That's the key. Let's put it into action. Step 1. Identify your biggest distractions. Not just the obvious ones on your phone, notifications, but also the subtle ones. Hours wasted watching meaningless videos, checking news that doesn't serve you, scrolling through feeds that leave you feeling empty. Write them down. Name them. Own them. Awareness is power. Step 2. Eliminate. Delete apps. Silence notifications. Block websites. Set strict schedules. Control your environment. You don't need their permission. That's the key. If you value your time, you can take it back. Step 3. Train your attention. Once distractions are removed, your brain will scream. It will beg for noise. It will tell you it needs a break. It's a trap. You need to focus harder. Work in blocks of 60 to 90 minutes. No interruptions. No excuses. Force your mind to stay on the task. Repetition is crucial. Noise destroys results. Noise destroys results. Noise destroys results. Let's talk about real-world impact. Imagine two employees. One checks emails constantly, scrolls Twitter, watches random videos. Another turns off all notifications, works in focus blocks, completes priority tasks. Who will be promoted? Who will finish their goals? Who will be remembered? Results don't lie. Attention drives results. Noise destroys results. That's why cutting the noise is non-negotiable. Now, don't confuse cutting the noise with isolation. Focus is not about running from the world. It's about controlling the world around you. It's not about ignoring responsibility. It's about ignoring distractions. You have a choice. Be passive, reactive, scattered, and mediocre, or be deliberate, proactive, and unstoppable. That's the key. Repetition builds habit. Every time you say, "Noise destroys results," your brain starts to internalize the truth. Every time you remind yourself, "I have control over my attention," your mind rewires for focus. Say it. Believe it. Act on it. Noise destroys results. Noise destroys results. Noise destroys results. Now, let's do a practical exercise. Take your phone. Look at every app. Ask yourself, does this serve my goals, my results, my life? If the answer is no, delete it. Take a notebook. Write down every recurring distraction. Commit to eliminating at least one today. Then, protect your environment. Close doors. Silence alerts. Use focus blocks. Make your space sacred. This is where results are born. This is where focus is forged. You might think you need permission. You don't. You might think you can multitask around the noise. You can't. You might think one scroll won't hurt. It will. That's the key. Consistency compounds. Every distraction you allow, every minute you waste, every choice to scatter your attention, steals from your potential. Control your mind or accept the cost. Noise destroys results. Noise destroys results. Noise destroys results. By cutting the noise, you take the first step toward mastering yourself. You reclaim your attention. You reclaim your time. You reclaim your results. And once your focus is restored, you can move on to the next level, not just working, but working on what matters. Not just being busy, but being productive. Not just surviving, but winning. You mastered your environment. You identified distractions. You took the first step to control your mind. You have reclaimed what most people lose every single day. That's powerful. That's transformative. That's focus in action. Now, let's take this further. Because focus isn't just about removing distractions, it's about harnessing your attention with precision. You mastered your mind. Now, let's talk about the power of a single task. Chapter 2. The Power of a Single Task. Stop right now and ask yourself, how often do you really focus? Not partially, not distracted, not switching between screens. Real focus. Real attention. The truth is, most people think they can multitask. They think they're efficient because they're doing 10 things at once. Newsflash: multitasking is a lie. The brain cannot perform multiple high-level tasks simultaneously. It switches. That split-second switch costs energy. It costs time. It costs results. You have a choice. You can keep pretending you can multitask, or you can dominate with a single, sharp, unstoppable focus. That's the key. Neuroscience proves it. When you attempt 2 tasks at once, your brain literally loses processing power. Cognitive load increases. Mistakes rise. Memory suffers. Creativity collapses. Focus is a resource, not infinite. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. Let's make this real. Picture a high-performing team in a fast-paced company. They're brilliant, talented, driven. But every day, they juggle emails, meetings, Slack messages, reports, and deadlines all at once. The outcome? Delays, confusion, miscommunication. Even the best brains fail when attention is fragmented. High IQ does not compensate for divided attention. You have a choice: scatter your energy and fail, or concentrate and win. That's the key. Now, contrast that with a single-task strategy. One team focuses on one goal at a time. One project. One objective. They set a clear priority, allocate energy, and defend their attention fiercely. Results skyrocket. Deadlines are met. Innovations emerge. Success compounds. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. This applies to you personally too. Whether you're writing, building, studying, or training, nothing beats a focused block of work. Your brain enters a flow state, that zone where time disappears and performance peaks. But flow is fragile. Fragmented attention destroys it instantly. You have a choice: chase flow or chase distractions. That's the key. Here's a practical method. Pick your most important task, the one with the highest impact on your life or work. Block 60 to 90 minutes. No phone. No notifications. No interruptions. Commit to finishing that one task before moving on. No exceptions. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. Let's break down the psychology behind it. When you focus on a single task, dopamine is released consistently as you make progress. Your brain rewards the completion of a meaningful action, not fragmented attempts. Multitasking scatters, dopamine bursts. One task equals one reward cycle. That's why you feel drained when juggling multiple things. That's why progress feels slow. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. Now let's apply it to real-world examples. Steve Jobs famously focused intensely on a few products at a time. He didn't spread Apple's energy thin. Elon Musk focuses on one engineering problem until it's solved. Look at Olympic athletes. They train with precision. Every rep, every move, every drill is deliberate. No distractions. No multitasking. Results are not accidental. They are the direct product of single-task mastery. You have a choice. Scatter and fail, or focus and dominate. That's the key. Even in teams, single-task focus creates exponential results. Agile methodology, when done right, emphasizes sprints. Teams commit to one objective per sprint. The difference is staggering. Productivity rises. Morale rises. Mistakes drop. Fragmented attention kills results. Consistent focus breeds them. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. Here's the hard truth. Multitasking is seductive because it feels like doing more. But doing more without focus is wasted energy. You can fill your day with activity and achieve nothing. Or you can fill it with deliberate focus and achieve everything. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. Let's implement it immediately. Step 1. Identify your highest leverage task for the day. Step 2. Eliminate distractions. Close apps. Silence notifications. Tell people you are unavailable. Step 3. Commit fully for 60 to 90 minutes. No excuses. No switching. No small talk. One task. One focus. One result. Step 4. Repeat. Build this habit daily. That's how extraordinary results are created. That's how winners operate. You might resist. Your mind will scream for distraction. It will tell you to check this or finish that small thing. That's the sabotage of your own brain. Fight it. Discipline beats impulse every single time. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. By mastering single-task focus, you control your output, your attention, and your life. You're no longer at the mercy of notifications, obligations, or mental chatter. You have power. You have clarity. You have momentum. And once momentum builds, every goal becomes reachable. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. You understood the damage of multitasking. You saw how top performers fail when attention is scattered. You experienced the neurological advantage of monotasking. You learned the habit, the framework, and the practice. That's transformation. That's control. It focuses like a machine. Now, you've mastered your single-task focus. Next, it's time to harness it with ruthless prioritization. Chapter 3. Ruthlessly prioritize what matters. Let's cut the fluff. Most people spend their lives busy, scattered, and exhausted. And for what? For tasks that don't matter. For meetings that go nowhere. For projects that have no impact. That stops today. You have a choice. You can continue being busy and getting nothing done, or you can ruthlessly prioritize what matters. That's the key. The world doesn't reward effort. It rewards results. Not all work is equal. Some actions produce massive impact, while others produce almost nothing. The difference is in knowing what drives results. Here's the principle, the 80-20 rule. 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. That's not a suggestion. That's math. That's life. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't get your time. Repeat it. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't get your time. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't get your time. Let's make it concrete. Elon Musk doesn't spend hours debating minor features or attending pointless meetings. He focuses on the projects that will define Tesla, SpaceX, and his legacy. The rockets, the batteries, the breakthroughs. That's the 20% that drives 80% of his results. He ruthlessly eliminates the rest. Meetings, minor emails, distractions, they are gone. That's the key. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't get your time. Now, apply this to your own life. Look at your to-do list. Every single task. Every single obligation. Ask yourself, does this move the needle? Not just a little, not maybe, but truly move the needle. If it doesn't, delete it. Postpone it. Delegate it. Stop wasting your energy. One decision to eliminate unnecessary work can give you hours of focus and massive results. You have a choice. Work scattered or work decisive. That's the key. Real-world example, a sales manager I worked with used to spend hours reviewing minor reports, replying to low-priority emails, and micromanaging his team. Nothing moved forward. Then he applied ruthless prioritization. He identified the top 20% of clients that generated 80% of revenue. He focused only on those. Within months, revenue doubled, stress dropped, and his team was performing better than ever. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't get your time. Here's how to implement it immediately. Step 1. Make a list of every task you think you need to do this week. Every project, every obligation, every meeting, every small task. No exceptions. Write it all down. Step 2. Identify the 20% that drives the majority of your results. The tasks that matter most. Ask yourself, which actions will produce the highest impact? Which results will define my success? Highlight these. Step 3. Eliminate, delegate, or delay everything else. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't get your time. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. That's the key. Here's the hard truth. Your calendar and your attention are the currency of your life. Every minute you spend on unimportant tasks is a minute stolen from your potential. You have a choice. Spend your time on what matters, or watch your life slip away. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't get your time. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't get your time. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't get your time. Let's talk about mental clutter. Even small, seemingly insignificant tasks drain focus. Responding to every message immediately. Reading every article. Checking news endlessly. Attending every meeting. These all add up. They steal mental energy and leave no room for meaningful work. Stop pretending everything is urgent. Ruthless prioritization is about clarity, control, and results. You have a choice. Focus or scatter. That's the key. Another example, a startup founder used to juggle investor calls, minor HR issues, marketing tweaks, and product development simultaneously. Results were mediocre. He learned to prioritize. 1 week, he blocked out everything except product development and critical investor meetings. 1 month later, his product shipped on time, and funding doubled. That's the power of focusing on what moves the needle. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't get your time. Practical habit. Every morning, take 5 minutes. List your top 3 high-impact tasks for the day. No more. No less. Everything else is secondary. Guard this ruthlessly. If distractions appear, ask, does this move the needle? If yes, proceed. If no, ignore it. One choice, repeated daily, compounds into massive results. You have a choice. Protect your focus. That's the key. Remember, prioritization isn't a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. Review your tasks daily, weekly, monthly. Reassess constantly. Eliminate what's unnecessary. Focus relentlessly on what drives your results. That's how extraordinary people operate. That's how extraordinary results are created. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't get your time. Repeat it until it's etched into your mind. Your competitors are not sleeping, they are working. But most are busy with nonsense. The difference between winners and everyone else? Winners ruthlessly prioritize. Winners focus. Winners understand the 80-20 rule. Winners understand that every minute wasted is a minute they'll never get back. You have a choice. Follow the crowd, or lead with precision. That's the key. By now, you've learned to identify the work that truly matters. You've seen examples of top performers applying ruthless prioritization. You've learned the habit, the mindset, and the practical steps. This chapter is about control. Control over your time, control over your energy, and control over your life. Now that you've mastered prioritization, it's time to confront the invisible thief of focus, the addiction to urgency. Chapter 4. Kill the urgency addiction. Let's get real. Your life is not as urgent as you think. Every notification, every ping, every email screaming for attention is designed to hijack your brain. It tricks you into thinking you must act immediately. It tricks you into thinking you're being productive. The truth? Most of it doesn't matter. You have a choice. You can live on reaction, or you can operate on intention. That's the key. Here's the brutal truth. Constant urgency destroys focus. Your brain cannot do deep work when it's being pulled in 100 directions. Every urgent task that isn't actually important fragments your attention. Your mind becomes scattered. Productivity collapses. Creativity dies. Stress rises. That's the cost of chasing every urgent demand. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Let's break it down. There are three main sources of false urgency: digital notifications, other people's demands, and your own mental panic. Digital notifications. Every ping, alert, or badge on your phone is designed to pull you out of focus. It creates a small dopamine hit, conditioning your brain to chase interruption. That's not a reward, it's a trap. Exercise. Silence all notifications for one full work block. Phone on airplane mode. No email alerts. No Slack pings. Just you and your priority task. Notice how much more you accomplish. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Other people's demands. Coworkers, clients, friends, family, they all have urgent requests for you. And here's the kicker: their urgency is not your priority. You have a choice. Say no. Delegate. Delay. Protect your focus like a fortress. Exercise. Schedule office hours or dedicated focus time where you are unavailable. People learn to respect your boundaries when you enforce them. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Your own mental panic. We generate urgency internally too. I must answer this now. If I don't do it, something bad will happen. Most of these thoughts are illusions. They create stress and pull attention away from the work that truly matters. Exercise. Before reacting, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, does this action truly matter right now? Is it part of my top priorities? If the answer is no, ignore it. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Now, let's talk about deep work. This is the work that changes your life. The work that produces results, mastery, and momentum. Deep work requires uninterrupted attention. True progress cannot happen in short bursts of distraction. Every time you chase false urgency, you pull yourself out of flow. Exercise. Block 90-minute deep work sessions daily. Start small, build consistency. Protect these sessions. Defend them. Let nothing interrupt them. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Here's an example. A software developer I coached spent hours reacting to Slack messages. Code progress was minimal. Deadlines were missed. Frustration grew. After implementing focus blocks and ignoring non-critical messages, productivity doubled. Projects were delivered early. Stress plummeted. That's the power of killing false urgency. That's the key. You might think you're indispensable, that you must react immediately. Wrong. You are not defined by your response speed. You are defined by the results you produce. Control the schedule, or the schedule controls you. Exercise. Review your calendar. Identify tasks that can be delayed without consequence. Delay them. Protect your focus. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Here's a step-by-step routine. Morning priority check. Identify the top 3 high-impact tasks. Everything else is secondary. Schedule focus blocks. 60 to 90 minutes of uninterrupted work. No notifications. No interruptions. Pause before reacting. Before responding to any message, call, or request, ask, "Does this move the needle?" If not, ignore it. End-of-day reflection. Review what truly mattered. Celebrate progress on important tasks. Identify distractions for tomorrow. Let's be clear, urgency addiction is seductive. It feels productive. It feels necessary. But it's a trap. Your attention is your most valuable asset. Every false emergency you chase steals time, energy, and results. You have a choice: react like everyone else, or act deliberately. That's the key. Here's a real-world story. An executive spent all day in constant urgent mode, replying to emails, attending back-to-back meetings, and jumping at every request. 6 months later, burnout hit. No projects completed, no meaningful progress, no results. When she learned to ignore false urgency, schedule deep work, and focus only on high-impact tasks, her output skyrocketed. That's the transformation you are aiming for. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Remember, your day is finite. Every minute consumed by false urgency is lost forever. Protect your time like gold. Kill the habit of reacting immediately. Fight the urge to be busy all the time. True productivity comes from calm, deliberate, uninterrupted action. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. Not everything urgent is important. By now, you've seen the damage false urgency can do. You've learned exercises to regain control: notification silencing, boundary enforcement, pause before reacting, deep work blocks. You have a choice: continue being controlled by urgency, or take control of your schedule, your attention, and your results. That's the key. Next step: once you've killed false urgency, it's time to build the muscle that ensures focus sticks every day: discipline.
Chapter 5. Build the muscle of discipline. Let's be clear. Focus is not a gift. Focus is not something you're born with. Focus is a skill. A skill you can train, strengthen, and sharpen every single day. You have a choice. You can let your attention be weak, scattered, and undisciplined, or you can build it like a muscle and make it unbreakable. That's the key. Discipline is the foundation of focus. Without it, all the strategies in the world, blocking notifications, prioritizing, killing urgency, will fail. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Repeat it. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Here's the truth: extraordinary people don't rely on motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline is constant. Athletes, executives, entrepreneurs, they succeed because they schedule micro-habits of discipline every day. They don't wait for inspiration. They create routines that enforce focus. That's the key. Let's break it down. Discipline is built in small, consistent actions. It's the morning you wake up at 5 a.m. even when you don't feel like it. It's choosing a single task over endless scrolling. It's sticking to your focus blocks. Each choice strengthens the neural pathways of attention. You have a choice. You can drift, or you can practice focus deliberately. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Consider an Olympic athlete. Every day, they perform the same drills, push the same limits, and follow a strict schedule. Repetition, repetition, repetition. They don't cheat themselves. They don't skip steps. The result? Mastery, control, peak performance. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Now, look at executives. The most productive CEOs and entrepreneurs schedule tiny habits that reinforce focus. Checking critical emails only once in the morning. Reviewing priorities before acting. Blocking time for deep work. Each small habit compounds. Each disciplined choice increases their output. That's the power of daily training. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Here's how you can train the muscle of discipline today. Step 1. Choose a single microhabit that reinforces focus. It could be a 10-minute morning planning ritual, a 60-minute deep work block, or a strict no distractions rule during peak hours. Consistency is more important than duration. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Step 2. Set boundaries that protect this habit. No phone. No interruptions. No exceptions. You don't need anyone's permission. You have a choice. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Step 3. Repeat daily. Microhabits compound. Every day you enforce discipline, your focus becomes sharper. Every day you resist distractions, your attention grows stronger. Every day you choose action over avoidance, you gain control. That's the key. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Let's get practical. Pick one task today. Complete it without interruption. No checking messages. No switching tabs. No quick breaks that turn into hours of distraction. You'll feel the difference immediately. Your brain adapts. Your focus grows. Your confidence rises. That's the power of disciplined action. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Think about the cost of not training this muscle. Weak discipline means scattered attention, missed deadlines, wasted potential. You work harder but achieve less. Your results are mediocre. Your mind is restless. Your energy is wasted. Don't settle for that. You have a choice. Strengthen discipline, or continue being weak. That's the key. Here's another example. A top executive I worked with struggled to finish high-priority projects. Emails and meetings constantly interrupted him. We introduced a microhabit, 90 minutes of uninterrupted deep work every morning. 3 weeks later, he completed 3 major projects ahead of schedule. Focus and results skyrocketed. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline isn't punishment. Discipline is liberation. The more you enforce it, the more control you have over your day, your mind, and your life. You can choose the distractions, the noise, and the chaos, or you can build habits that make you unstoppable. That's the key. Here's a simple exercise. Write down your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. Block time for each. Commit to completing them without deviation. Protect this time like gold. Follow through, no excuses. Daily repetition cements the habit. Your focus becomes automatic. Your attention becomes unbreakable. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Let's internalize this. Motivation is fleeting. Inspiration fades. Only discipline creates lasting results. Every disciplined choice compounds. Every microhabit strengthens focus. Every refusal to yield to distraction builds power. You have a choice. You can be weak, reactive, and scattered, or you can be strong, proactive, and unstoppable. That's the key. By now, you've learned the value of discipline. You've seen the examples of athletes, CEOs, and high performers. You understand the habit, the practice, and the mindset. You have the tools. You have the exercises. You have the framework to train focus daily. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Discipline builds freedom. Next step, once your discipline muscle is built, it's time to control your environment, the ultimate multiplier of focus. Chapter 6. Environment is everything. Listen closely. Your environment shapes your mind. Your surroundings dictate your focus. Your office, your home, your digital space, even the people around you, either fuel your productivity or sabotage it. You have a choice. You can control your environment, or you can let it control you. That's the key. Most people underestimate this. They think focus is only about willpower or discipline. Wrong. The environment multiplies or destroys effort. The brain adapts to stimuli. Clutter, noise, interruptions. They condition your mind to scatter attention. Clean, organized, intentional spaces condition your brain to concentrate, execute, and win. Every time you neglect your environment, you undermine your potential. You have a choice. That's the key. Let's start with the physical environment. Your workspace matters more than you realize. A cluttered desk, papers everywhere, random objects. These are distractions. Each visual stimulus steals cognitive energy. Remove them. Minimalism is not a trend, it's a tool. One clean desk. One focused mind. One result. One clean desk. One focused mind. One result. One clean desk. One focused mind. One result. Digital environment, equally critical. Every open tab, every unorganized file, every unnecessary app fragments attention. Your devices are extensions of your mind. If they're messy, your focus suffers. Exercise, organize files, delete unused apps, close tabs, and create a focus zone on your computer and phone. Protect this digital space like a fortress. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. One task. One focus. One result. The people's environment. This is huge. Some individuals lift you, others drain you. Negative, reactive, attention-demanding people destroy focus. Limit their access. Surround yourself with those who support your goals. People who encourage disciplined work. People who inspire action. You don't need anyone's permission. You have a choice. That's the key. Now let's talk about the sensory environment. Light, sound, temperature, all affect focus. Bright, natural light boosts alertness. Silence, or controlled background sound, improves concentration. Noise, distractions, and chaos diminish it. If you can, control these variables. Optimize your space for maximum mental output. One environment. One mind. One result. One environment. One mind. One result. One environment. One mind. One result. Real-world example. A writer I coached could never finish projects at home. Noise, clutter, distractions everywhere. We redesigned her environment. Clean desk, blocked notifications, dedicated quiet hours, minimal visual distractions. Within a month, she completed a 90,000-word manuscript she'd struggled with for years. That's the power of the environment. One environment. One mind. One result. Even high-performing offices make mistakes. Open floor plans, constant interruptions, multitasking, and unnecessary meetings sabotage attention. Top companies are learning. They're creating focus rooms, silent hours, and minimal distractions to amplify output. The environment multiplies discipline. You have a choice. Protect your space. That's the key. Here's a practical exercise for today. Audit your environment. Look at your workspace. Look at your phone. Look at the people you interact with daily. Ask yourself, does this fuel my focus or drain it? Remove, block, or minimize everything that steals attention. Protect what empowers you. One environment. One mind. One result. One environment. One mind. One result. One environment. One mind. One result. Now, digital clutter deserves more attention. Notifications are the silent killers of focus. Email alerts, social media badges, push notifications, they hijack your attention. Disable everything non-essential. Set strict schedules for checking messages. Your brain will thank you. Deep work thrives when digital distractions are removed. One environment. One mind. One result. One environment. One mind. One result. One environment. One mind. One result. Let's be honest, your environment will always try to sabotage you. Family, roommates, coworkers, social expectations, they all demand attention. That's reality. You have a choice: react passively, or proactively shape your surroundings to reinforce focus. Exercise, set boundaries, communicate needs, create physical and digital focus zones. Control your space, control your results. That's the key. Even habits tie into the environment. Place cues strategically, notebook on the desk, water nearby, minimal distractions. Your environment reminds you what matters. Reinforce good behavior. Reduce friction. The easier it is to focus, the more likely your brain will sustain attention. One environment. One mind. One result. One environment. One mind. One result. One environment. One mind. One result. Remember, discipline alone isn't enough. Even the most disciplined person can fail if the environment is chaotic. But when you combine disciplined focus with an optimized environment, your results compound. Tasks that once felt impossible become routine. Deep work becomes the default. You have a choice. Control your surroundings, or be controlled. That's the key. By now, you've learned the layers of environment: physical, digital, social, and sensory. You've seen real-world examples of how optimizing space leads to massive output. You have exercises, routines, and a framework to create an environment that amplifies focus. One environment. One mind. One result. One environment. One mind. One result. One environment. One mind. One result. Next step, once your environment is optimized, it's time to train your brain for deep work, the ultimate multiplier of attention and output. Chapter 7. Rewire your brain for deep work. Listen carefully. Your brain is wired for distraction. Every notification, every habit, every impulse pulls it away from focus. But here's the truth: your brain is also incredibly adaptable. You can train it to focus like a laser. You can rewire it to thrive in deep work. You have a choice. Stay reactive and scattered, or rewire your mind for unstoppable focus. That's the key. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It's where mastery, results, and transformation happen. Shallow work, emails, meetings, trivial tasks, doesn't move the needle. Deep work is your competitive advantage. The more you train your brain, the more results you produce. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. Here's the hard truth: your neural pathways are like muscles. Use them for shallow work, and your brain gets weak. Train them for deep work, and your brain gets strong. Neuroplasticity means your attention can be strengthened, reinforced, and multiplied. You have a choice. Weak brain or focused brain. That's the key. Let's start with habit formation. The brain craves routines. The more you schedule deep work, the more it adapts. Begin small, 60 to 90 minutes daily in a distraction-free zone. No phone, no notifications, no multitasking. Force your brain into focus. At first, it will resist. It will beg for a dopamine hit, a distraction, a shortcut. Resist. Build consistency. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. Real-world example. Bill Gates famously used Think Weeks, complete isolation to focus on high-impact reading and strategy. Elon Musk schedules deep work blocks for engineering problems. Athletes use focused practice drills. These are not accidents. They are deliberate rewiring exercises. Deep work rewires the brain for peak output. One brain. One focus. One result. Here's a practical step. The ritual of deep work. Before each session, prepare your space. Eliminate distractions. Set clear objectives. Take a few deep breaths. Visualize completion. Start. Force your brain to sustain attention for the full block. Afterward, reflect. What worked? What disrupted focus? Adjust and repeat. Consistency compounds. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. Your environment supports deep work, but your mindset drives it. Training the brain means embracing discomfort. It's not easy to ignore distractions. Your mind will scream for instant gratification. Fight it. Discipline and environment support this fight, but you must endure. The neural wiring happens in the struggle. That's the key. Another method, embrace deliberate practice. Break a complex task into microtasks. Complete each without interruption. Push your brain slightly beyond comfort. Repetition strengthens focus pathways. The result? Increased attention span, enhanced cognitive control, and better problem solving. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. Digital detox amplifies this. Remove shallow work triggers during deep work. Phone in airplane mode, notifications silenced, browser tabs minimized. Protect your cognitive resources. Shallow work is seductive. Deep work is transformative. Choose transformation. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. Let's talk about reinforcement. Every success reinforces neural pathways. Completing one deep work block strengthens the brain's capacity for future focus. Every distraction you resist strengthens willpower. Every repeated habit compounds into effortless focus over time. You have a choice: weaken your brain with distractions, or strengthen it with deliberate deep work. That's the key. Exercise. Schedule your next 3 deep work sessions. Record start and end times. Identify disruptions. Evaluate your focus. Make next sessions more disciplined. Repeat daily. Your brain will adapt. You will rewire attention. You will transform results. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. By now, you've seen the cost of shallow work and the power of deep work. You've learned how to prepare your environment, schedule focus blocks, resist distractions, and embrace deliberate practice. You are training your brain for sustained, unstoppable attention. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. One brain. One focus. One result. Next step, once your brain is wired for deep work, it's time to harness energy, the fuel that powers focus. Chapter 8. Energy is your ultimate weapon. Listen up. Focus is useless without energy. You can have all the discipline, all the environment hacks, all the deep work sessions, but if your body and mind are drained, nothing sticks. Energy is your ultimate weapon. It fuels attention, drives execution, and sustains results. You have a choice. You can burn out chasing tasks, or you can build energy and dominate every day. That's the key. Your energy comes from 3 sources: physical, mental, and emotional. Neglect any of them, and your focus collapses. Let's break it down. Physical energy. Sleep, nutrition, exercise. These are non-negotiable. Without adequate sleep, your brain cannot focus. Without proper fuel, your energy crashes. Without movement, circulation and alertness decline. Practical exercise. Schedule 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Eat protein, healthy fats, and vegetables. Move your body daily, even if it's a short walk or a quick workout. Physical energy is the foundation. Protect it. One body. One mind. One focus. One body. One mind. One focus. One body. One mind. One focus. Mental energy. Your mind needs rest and stimulation in balance. Overload it with constant shallow work and distractions, and it will rebel. Feed it with focus, reflection, and deliberate learning. Take breaks, meditate, or journal. Exercise. Dedicate 15 minutes daily to mental clarity. Review goals, write reflections, or simply breathe and observe. Mental energy fuels deep work. One mind. One focus. One result. One mind. One focus. One result. One mind. One focus. One result. Emotional energy. Stress, negativity, and unresolved conflicts drain focus faster than anything else. Protect your emotional state like armor. Exercise. Identify one source of emotional drain each day and address it immediately. Resolve, release, or remove it. Positive reinforcement, gratitude, and self-compassion replenish energy reserves. Emotional energy sustains attention. One emotion. One mind. One focus. One emotion. One mind. One focus. One emotion. One mind. One focus. Here's the truth. Energy compounds. Consistent sleep, nutrition, movement, mental clarity, and emotional balance create a reservoir of power. You will notice sharper focus, faster execution, and resilience under pressure. Ignore energy, and all other strategies fail. You have a choice. Fuel or fail. That's the key. Real-world example. A tech entrepreneur I coached worked 14-hour days but skipped meals, drank too much coffee, and slept 4 to 5 hours. Productivity was poor, stress was high, creativity was blocked. Once he optimized sleep, nutrition, exercise, and scheduled microbreaks, his output doubled, focus stabilized, and problem-solving improved dramatically. Energy is the multiplier. One energy. One mind. One focus. One energy. One mind. One focus. One energy. One mind. One focus. Here's a practical routine for daily energy optimization. Morning ritual. Hydrate, move your body, eat a protein-rich breakfast. Prime physical and mental energy. Focus blocks with breaks, 60 to 90 minutes of deep work, followed by a short movement or mental reset. Preserve mental stamina. Midday recharge, 15 to 20 minutes for reflection, walking, or meditation. Maintain mental and emotional balance. Evening reset, wind down, avoid screens 60 minutes before sleep, and review accomplishments. Preserve tomorrow's energy. You might resist these steps. I don't have time. I can push through. Wrong. Energy is the engine of results. Discipline without fuel burns out. An environment without energy collapses. Deep work without energy is shallow. You have a choice. Build energy, or fail. That's the key. One energy. One mind. One focus. One energy. One mind. One focus. One energy. One mind. One focus. Another truth. Multitasking drains energy faster than any single task. Fragmented attention creates stress, reduces efficiency, and depletes reserves. That's why we emphasized single-task focus earlier. Every strategic block of attention conserves energy and produces maximum results. One task. One energy. One focus. One task. One energy. One focus. One task. One energy. One focus. Here's an actionable daily exercise. Track energy levels in real time. Note when you feel sharp and when you feel drained. Identify patterns. Adjust sleep, food, movement, and breaks accordingly. Small tweaks compound into massive energy gains over weeks. One energy. One mind. One focus. One energy. One mind. One focus. One energy. One mind. One focus. Remember, energy is the silent multiplier of every skill we've covered. Discipline, prioritization, environment, deep work, they all rely on energy. Without it, results plateau. With it, results explode. You have a choice. Fuel your body, mind, and emotions, or stay weak and reactive. That's the key. By now, you've learned that energy is not optional, it's mandatory. Physical, mental, and emotional energy combined form the fuel for unstoppable focus. You've learned daily routines, exercises, and practices to maintain high energy. One energy. One mind. One focus. One energy. One mind. One focus. One energy. One mind. One focus. Next step, once your energy is optimized, it's time to harness the ultimate multiplier, momentum. Chapter 9. Momentum is a weapon. Listen carefully. Momentum is not luck. Momentum is not timing. Momentum is a weapon. It turns small actions into massive results. It amplifies focus, energy, and discipline. You have a choice. You can start and stop, or you can build unstoppable forward motion. That's the key. Momentum is built by consistency. Every completed task adds a brick to your momentum wall. Every action, no matter how small, compounds. Stop thinking you need perfection to start. Start imperfectly. Build momentum. One step. One win. One movement. One step. One win. One movement. One step. One win. One movement. Here's the truth. Humans are wired to resist action. The first step is always the hardest. But once you begin, your brain engages in a feedback loop. Small victories create dopamine, reinforce habits, and make the next task easier. Momentum feeds itself. Momentum is energy multiplied. One step. One win. One movement. One step. One win. One movement. One step. One win. One movement. Let's apply this to work. A CEO I coached struggled to finish high-priority projects. Each day was reactive. Emails, meetings, distractions, no completion. We introduced microactions, 15-minute focus sprints on critical tasks. The first day was tough, but by day 3, small wins created forward motion. By the end of the week, multiple projects were finished ahead of schedule. Momentum is a weapon. One action. One win. One result. One action. One win. One result. One action. One win. One result. Momentum is fragile. Interrupt it, and it collapses. Stop-and-go behavior kills results. That's why discipline, environment, energy, and focus are all prerequisites. They create the conditions for momentum to thrive. Without them, progress stalls. You have a choice. Protect momentum, or waste effort. That's the key. One action. One win. One result. One action. One win. One result. One action. One win. One result. Small victories matter. Start your day by completing one high-priority task. That single action primes your mind for further accomplishment. Finish a project, a report, or a workout. Momentum compounds. Each success fuels the next. One task. One win. One movement. One task. One win. One movement. One task. One win. One movement. Here's a practical exercise. Define your top 3 priority actions for today. Start with the easiest to complete. Finish it fully. Celebrate internally. Then move to the next. By day's end, you've built a chain reaction of wins. Momentum is unstoppable once initiated. One action. One win. One movement. One action. One win. One movement. One action. One win. One movement. Momentum also protects against distraction. Once you're in motion, small interruptions lose their power. A phone ping or a sudden meeting cannot derail a focused, moving mind. The key is starting with purpose and consistency. Momentum protects focus. Momentum multiplies energy. Momentum transforms action into results. One movement. One win. One result. One movement. One win. One result. One movement. One win. One result. Let's look at elite performers. Olympic athletes rarely fail in critical moments because they've built momentum over years of disciplined training. Entrepreneurs scale companies because early wins compound into unstoppable growth. Writers, coders, inventors, creators, they complete huge projects by leveraging momentum. Momentum is the weapon you wield when focus, discipline, environment, and energy align. One movement. One win. One result. One movement. One win. One result. One movement. One win. One result. Here's another exercise. Schedule a momentum window daily. Pick 1 hour to tackle high-impact work. No interruptions. Focus on completing at least one meaningful outcome. By the end, reflect and carry this momentum into the next block. Repeat daily. Momentum becomes automatic. 1 hour. One win. One result. 1 hour. One win. One result. 1 hour. One win. One result. Remember this, momentum is exponential. Small wins lead to bigger wins. Completion creates more completion. Focus feeds momentum, discipline fuels it, energy powers it, and the environment amplifies it. Together, they form an unstoppable force. You have a choice. Sit stagnant, or harness momentum as your weapon. That's the key. By now, you've learned the power of forward motion. You've seen how small actions compound into massive results. You understand the exercises to start, sustain, and protect momentum. You know how discipline, environment, energy, and deep work feed it. Momentum is your weapon. One action. One win. One result. One action. One win. One result. One action. One win. One result. Next step. Once momentum is harnessed, it's time to eliminate the final invisible enemy, procrastination and hesitation.
Chapter 10. Stop hesitating. Start dominating. Listen closely. Hesitation is the silent killer of results. Waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting for clarity. Waiting for permission. It's a trap. Every second you hesitate, someone else is moving ahead. You have a choice. You can wait, or you can act. That's the key. Stop overthinking. Stop rationalizing. Stop allowing fear to dictate your schedule. Action is the antidote to hesitation. Every small decision delayed is energy wasted. Every delay is momentum lost. You have a choice. Act decisively, or fall behind. That's the key. Here's the truth. High performers don't wait for certainty. They act with imperfect information. Elon Musk launches rockets knowing failure is possible. Top athletes make split-second decisions in competition. Entrepreneurs take calculated risks daily. Hesitation costs more than mistakes. Action creates results. Start now. Start immediately. Start decisively. Start now. Start immediately. Start decisively. Start now. Start immediately. Start decisively. Real-world example. A client spent months planning a product launch, tweaking details, and hesitating on every step. Meanwhile, competitors moved forward. When he finally acted, it was late. Market share was lost. Hesitation had destroyed potential. Contrast. Another client took imperfect action, iterated quickly, and dominated his market within weeks. The difference? Immediate action. Hesitation kills. Action wins. Start now. Start immediately. Start decisively. Start now. Start immediately. Start decisively. Start now. Start immediately. Start decisively. Here's how to eliminate hesitation immediately. Step 1. Identify one task you've been putting off. Make it non-negotiable to start today. No excuses. Start it within the next hour. Immediate action creates momentum. Start now. Start immediately. Start decisively. Step 2. Break it into micro-actions. Start small. Complete the first step, then the next. Momentum compounds. Hesitation dissolves when action begins. Start now. Start immediately. Start decisively. Step 3. Ignore fear, doubt, and criticism. Action trumps emotion. Hesitation feeds fear. Momentum destroys it. Act now. Start immediately. Start decisively. Stop waiting for the right time. There is no perfect moment. The perfect time is now. The perfect preparation is imperfect action. Stop rationalizing. Stop procrastinating. One decision, executed now, produces results. One decision. One movement. One victory. One decision. One movement. One victory. One decision. One movement. One victory. Here's a practical exercise. Write down one high-priority task you've avoided. Commit publicly, to yourself, a mentor, a colleague. Set a deadline for immediate action. Begin now. Hesitation has no place. Momentum begins here. One decision. One movement. One victory. One decision. One movement. One victory. One decision. One movement. One victory. Remember, hesitation feeds regret. Action feeds results. Every second you delay is energy wasted, momentum lost, focus diluted. Every choice to act decisively compounds into mastery, control, and dominance. You have a choice. Hesitate or dominate. That's the key. Start now. Start immediately. Start decisively. Start now. Start immediately. Start decisively. Start now. Start immediately. Start decisively. By now, you've learned the full system. Cut the noise. Control your mind. Single task. One task. One focus. One result. Ruthlessly prioritize. If it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't get your time. Kill urgency addiction. Not everything urgent is important. Build discipline. Discipline builds freedom. Optimize your environment. One environment. One mind. One result. Deep work rewiring. One brain. One focus. One result. Fuel energy. One energy. One mind. One focus. Harness momentum. One step. One win. One movement. Stop hesitating. One decision. One movement. One victory. You've learned the exercises. You've seen examples. You've absorbed the mindset. The only thing left is action. Right now. Not later. Not tomorrow. Right now. You have a choice. Hesitate or dominate. That's the key. Next step, take this system, apply it relentlessly, and watch your life transform. Here's the truth. Nothing changes until you do. Distractions will always be there, noise will always scream, and mediocrity will always whisper. But you, right now, you have a choice. You can be scattered, busy, and mediocre, or you can focus like a machine. Apply the rules we covered. Cut the noise, prioritize ruthlessly, train your attention, and guard your time like gold. Every action compounds. Every choice defines your results. Today, this week, this year, you decide, will you let distraction steal your life, or will you dominate every moment with relentless focus? Stop scrolling. Stop procrastinating. Focus like a machine, and go win everything you were meant to achieve. The first second to start is now. No excuses. No delays. Go.